Good evening, welcome to Cardiff City TV. Well, shooting opportunity. Oh, it's brilliant. Morrison, goal! Good afternoon, welcome to Cardiff City TV and welcome to live coverage of this afternoon's game between the Bluebirds and Middlesbrough. And my word, Cardiff need a result more than ever. 7 straight defeats coming into this one, just 1 goal in that time, and that goal being that consolation in the heavy 5-1 defeat to Blackburn. There were shoots of improvement, to say the least, in midweek, especially in the first 45 minutes against Fulham, but ultimately a 2-0 defeat continues to pile pressure on this current Cardiff City squad. Changes this afternoon for the Bluebirds though. Kiefer Moore drops to the bench. In comes James Collins in the attacking positions. Looks like 2 strikers though. Sam Bowen drops out through injury from the midfield area, with Mark Harris joining James Collins in the attacking line. Ruben Colwell starts again on the left-hand side after such a great performance in the opening 45 minutes in midweek. And there's also a change at left-back. Well, Joe Bagan succumbs to an injury, so Kieran Brown is back in there. Changes from Middlesbrough as well, and we'll discuss the Middlesbrough team with John Donovan in the second half of this pre-match show. But first, I'm delighted to say there's only one man really for bringing some levity to pre-match, considering what everything is going through at the moment, and put a smile on everyone's faces. And I'm delighted to say, joined by club legend, and I don't use that term lightly, Kevin McNaughton. How the devil are you, sir?
Yeah, good. Just looking forward to seeing the game, but they'll be down for a while, so yeah, just fingers crossed we get a result.
Watching through your fingers from afar, is it?
Yeah, the results have not been that great, obviously, of late, so we need a win, really, don't we? Just to push ourselves away from the sort of relegation zone and to sort of lift the place as well. I think a result is well needed.
Now, I think we're all feeling a bit nostalgic at the moment with the way things are going, so I'm sure it's a question you get asked a lot, but when you are asked to reflect on your time as a Cardiff player and the great time you have here, what's the one thing that comes to mind?
There's quite a few things, but for me, sort of FA Cup and promotion season were the 2 sort of main standouts. As a young lad, sort of growing up and playing football, FA Cup is massive for me. I've always watched it, and to be a part of that, obviously the cup final was massive. And just as a Cardiff fan myself, being a part of that and part of Cardiff's history in terms of that as well was really good. And obviously getting promoted to the Premier League was an amazing achievement for the boys as well. It was, I remember that night. I don't remember the 2 weeks after it, but the night after, I don't really remember those sort of nights. But the game itself was, it was special, and being a part of that and the celebrations afterwards was
and it was such a culmination as well, isn't it? Because it wasn't just that one season. You'd been part of that squad that had come so close and so many times and spent so long here. That
definitely.
It was,
like I got quite emotional after the game, and it was probably because of all those sort of near misses and all the sort of hardships. It made things more special for me. I know the guys within the squad would probably feel the same, but for me it became extra special because of all the near misses and all the sort of the turmoil we've been through in the past. That sort of moment for me in terms of my football career, and emotionally I was high as a kite.
It's a real close-knit core to that squad as well, wasn't it? It's similar to what we had in the second promotion campaign, that you were all of a similar age, you came here at the same time, you were all friends, you all had kids around the same time, born in Cardiff,
I think the good thing about Cardiff at that time was the families were all very close, and there was a really good team spirit. I think the good thing about that squad as well was there was no sort of prima donnas or anything like that. It was a really hard-working, grafting squad. 1 or 2 wild cards in the mix, like the Bellers, and you had Kimbo, Muchie, Witts, boys like that who can make a difference in a game. The rest of the boys were really hard working, and so in terms of the squad, that's how we managed to get promotion in my eyes, just with that hard working and the work rate.
I don't know if you're aware of this, 289 Cardiff appearances. It's probably a number you're aware of, but that actually puts you second on the list of club appearances in the 21st century. So it's only Peter Whittingham that's made more appearances than you in this century. That's quite an achievement, isn't it?
Yeah, considering the injury list. I think if I wasn't injured, I probably would have made about 300, but no. Like I say, but it's Cardiff it's weird. I think most players have a club that they go to in their career, and they find a home sort of thing. And for me, I sort of found a home at Cardiff. All my fondest memories of football are experienced at Cardiff, and like I'm chuffed to be a part of a great football club, great fan base. Like I've just gone into the stands there, and you meet people that you've seen from years ago. It's strange, but it's just the way it is. The football club's a close-knit club, and their fans have always been different class to me. So I love coming down here. I enjoy my time, and every time I come down, it's a pretty special place for me. Yeah.
I'm going to bring you back down to earth for the bump a little bit, because I did mention it because it's good timing, because you're about to be bumped off second in that list by Sean Morrison when he plays his next game. So he's going to draw level with you.
No, he's not getting a game.
He's not playing today.
No, he's not playing again.
Oh, you're making sure he's not playing again.
I've spoken to I've spoken to hierarchy, and he's not playing again.
You've got two people to hold off, because he's a game behind you, and Rolsey's catching you pretty quickly as well. They'll both be ahead of you and knock you into fourth place.
Thanks
sorry.
Right.
Sorry for bringing it up.
Thank you.
Now, we've known each other a long time. I've worked here for an awful long time as well during your career. We've also got a shared friend mutual friend in Nick Alford. And I did reach out to him this morning and asked him if there's anything he wanted me to ask you. You'll be glad that most of the things I immediately bumped off the list. But to our knowledge, and I will ask you this, you are the only footballer that we know who's passed a medical midway through a stag do. Is that true?
100% true. My agent was like this. My agent phoned me, said, "You need to go and do the Cardiff medical." It's like, I'm in Magaluf. No, but I'll book your flight for tomorrow. It's like, no, I'm in Magaluf. He said, "You want me to try and pass a medical after I've been on a 3 or 4 day bender?" So I did. It's one of my greatest achievements.
Start as you mean to go on, I guess.
Was passing a medical whilst being under the influence. So I keep. The funny thing is, obviously, I did my medical. My agent had paid for me to fly back with him to Glasgow. So we're stood in the queue to go back to Glasgow, and there was another flight to go back to Palma right next to us. Me being me. So I'll go and find out if there's any space on that flight back to Palma. There was space on the flight. So I jumped back on the plane, but I never told any of my mates I was coming back. And it was a long day in the bar waiting on this flight. So I bought a Cardiff scarf, and I came back on the stag do. Mid-stag do, obviously I had a few more days left when I came back for medical, so I rejoined the stag do with a Cardiff scarf on. I was worse aware because I'd been sitting in the bar all day drinking. Came back. The funny thing was, on the stag do there was a couple of Cardiff fans staying at our hotel, so I came back worse for wear with a and my mate was like, "Oh, here's your new signing." And I turned up at the hotel, half nicked with a Cardiff scarf. Got my picture with these guys, just sort of like, "Oh, there's your new signing."
Thankfully, the days before social media, I guess.
Well, yeah, thankfully. A drunkard with a Cardiff fan. Oh, there's your new signing.
Start as you mean to go on, and the rest is history in your Cardiff career. Kev, it's been an absolute delight having you with us for this very, very short period. I know you're a busy man, you've done the Legends stage, you're about to shoot off as well and speak to some fans in the hospitality. I speak for everyone when I say you're welcome down here whenever you like. It's been an absolute pleasure. We will be back with John Donovan to talk about this game, in particularly the other side of this, and that being Mick McCarthy's pre-match words ahead of today.
I mean, if we'd won 4 or 5 on the bounce, Kiefer Moore's shot would have gone in the top corner and not hit the crossbar after, 10 minutes. But they're a very good side. They'll be in the top 2 or 3. There's no question. I do maintain my consistency and how I behave and how I treat people. That if we've won, I'm not dancing on the table and singing and dancing, and if we've lost, I'm not under the table sulking. So I make sure that my personality remains the same, and then that keeps the personality of the players, I think, the same. They're not walking around on eggshells wondering what I'm going to do. And the mood in the camp's good. And if it hadn't have been, I don't think we'd have got that performance against Fulham, to be fair. He's correct. The manager does take responsibility, and I'm going to do that. I'm not going to sit in here and start blaming the team and the players for anything, because I think they give me everything, as they did on Wednesday night. Me sitting here and starting to do that, which would be completely against the grain for me. I've got a game tomorrow. I want all those players running around for me and to be motivated, and for the club. And remind me, for the club, because that's the most important thing. We need another performance like we had against Reading and we had against Fulham. Mark McGuinness is going to be a really top player. There's no doubt about that. Actually, going back to the question that I was asked there about Sol Bamba, when I'd spoken to him, I was in the process of signing Mark McGuinness. And Mark McGuinness has to be the future as an under-21 player, as opposed to a 36-year-old player, no matter what's happening. And I think whatever about my reign, when anybody's thinking of people about me, that is a damn good signing, and he's going to be a really good player for the club. And I hope he's one that drives the club forward. And if he's not, I think he'll be worth a hell of a lot of money in some time to come.
Welcome back. I have exchanged Kevin McNaughton to go and do hospitality duties elsewhere for my regular partner in crime, John Donovan. John, let's focus on the positives, shall we? Opening 45. We haven't actually spoken since Fulham, so opening 45 minutes, much improved. There was bravery there was ambition in the ball, there were chances to speak of. There were some really good performances, particularly Colwell and McGuinness. And then a really spirited final 10 minutes as well, where the players really dug deep, didn't they?
First of all, substituting Kevin McNaughton for me, that shows the lack of depth we've got in this matchday team. But no, you're absolutely right. I think the first half was promising. We're at a point now where performances can only go so far, and it is good to see Reading and now, let's say, 60 collective minutes against Fulham as better performances. That needs to change into not losing games, but you've got to take the small mercies. And yeah, the first half I thought we were aggressive on the press. I thought we tried to win the ball back higher up the pitch. I thought the staggered layer of press between Kiefer Moore and then Sam Bowen going. I actually think Sam Bowen had a really good game without the ball, and I know their stats show out he actually had quite a good game with the ball as well. But without the ball, I thought he allowed us to press higher up the pitch. And you mentioned McGuinness. I do concur with Mick McCarthy that I think he's a shrewd pickup and will go on to either have a very good career here or elsewhere, perhaps earning us some money. So yeah, you can take positives, but after 7 defeats, even the pragmatist in you says, well, positives only go so far. It's about winning this game today. And that was, we said we'll focus on the positive, but it would be remiss of us to look otherwise. And that was the big concern, wasn't it? Is that despite the great 45 minutes, and you were playing a very, very good Fulham team. I was there, and they were pretty frightening in possession at times. The big negative was, as soon as that first goal went in, it wasn't capitulation like it has been in other games, but immediately you felt like, oh, that was it, the game's over. Absolutely, certainly not capitulation. It was a very spirited display. And again, I don't disagree that against teams in the middle, lower half of the table, a team perhaps like Middlesbrough, a performance like that might earn a result. But it did feel like when that first goal went in, it was game over. It certainly felt when the second goal went in, unfortunately a mistake of our own making, that it was game over. We were a little susceptible through quick balls to the middle when Wilson was coming in from the right-hand side and finding that pocket of space, number 10. So, we've got to be careful with that, with the change of formation. But no, it did seem like a structure that allowed us to get on the ball higher up the pitch, and I think that's certainly the mantra, the framework, the structure that we need to take into today's performance, Ash.
So just quickly touch on the Cardiff team then. Kiefer Moore drops out. Then he looked a tired man in the second half on a heavy pitch there at Fulham in the rain weekend. So I'm not surprised that he drops out and fresh legs came in. I thought Collins made a real impact actually, and he combined really well with another bright spark in Kieran Evans, who's on the bench today. Sam Bowen unfortunately does drop out through injury, so it looks like it might be a change in formation. We think it might be two up top, maybe a 4-4-2. However, it does give you the license to maybe put Harris on one flank and operate Colwill as a 10 instead. Volks and Pack will play as the two in the middle of the park, and there's a change in the back line where there's another injury. Joel Bagan's got a knock, so Kieran Brown, the man that comes into left back, and I guess he's the only choice at the moment with Tom Sang still struggling with that toe injury. So Brown with Colwill or Giles ahead of him in a flat back four, I think could work fairly well. And we'll go back to it again, Mark McGuinness, a man who really passed his audition in a back two in the weekend.
He did pass his audition back to, and his leadership qualities were something that were very, very evident. There were times, you were there live, I was commentating on the feed, that he was bossing that line in terms of getting it up. He was telling Aidan Flint where he wanted him on the pitch, and Aidan Flint is a strong character, so I think Mark McGuinness is the plus at the moment. Again, I think it's a formation that could work. It could be out and out 4-4-2, as you say. Do you change a structure that was okay on Wednesday night? Colwill can play as the 10. We know Harris can play wide, and Colwill can be that first pressing midfielder that Bowen was on Wednesday night. We shall wait and see. I got to be honest, Ash, I do feel at the moment we're in a relegation scrap, and I look at our squad, and if there are some injuries, I wonder about our squad depth. So I know people are saying we are too good to go down. Yes, in the grand scheme of things, if everybody's fit, we are probably too good to go down. We need wins, and we need wins quickly, because you can get into one of these ruts. We're in a rut at the moment, and if you what this period of time is showing at the moment, a few injuries, a little bit of lack of form, and I'm not sure there's too much seniority. The youngsters are great. You're right, Kieran Evans was fantastic when he came on. I'm really excited about Isaac Davis. I think injuries set him back, but I think he's a mixture of everything. He can go in behind, he can hold the ball up. Really excited about the youngsters. But there is a lack of depth of seniority in this squad.
So if we look at the formation then, it looks like, and I'd really be interested in seeing Collins and Harris playing as a two and just getting half an hour together in that formation. But it seems like a lot might depend on how Middlesbrough line up today. Now, we're expecting a back three of two former Bluebirds, Peltier, Bamba, Paddy McNair playing in there, Hernandez, Tavernier in the wing-back positions, and Piero operating ahead of a midfield two as a 10. However, what you've just seen on the pitch there suggests there's a suggestion, or it could just be Neil Warnock mind games, that there could be a back four from Middlesbrough today, and that might cause a rethink, because I do think if it's a back three, then Cardiff will play Collins and Harris to go up against those three. I think if it's a back four instead, then that's when you might see Harris either drop in as a 10 or play wide with Colwill as a 10.
No, agree, and it might just be a wild card. When Kev was on there, I took the opportunity to just watch how Middlesbrough were warming up, and Kevin Blackwell, when he was at Cardiff as assistant manager, always used to do that exercise of winning the ball in the air with the defensive setup it was going to be. And it was a flat four. And interesting, it was Johnny Howson who was lining up on the right, and Lee Peltier on the
which would probably be Paddy McNair going back into midfield to make up a three.
Possibly,
in there then,
possibly there. So we will wait and see. I agree with you. If it goes to a four, probably Cardiff can't play a front two and need to drop someone a little bit deeper. But it might just be Neil Warnock. It's theatre for Neil Warnock, Ash, isn't it? He's coming back here and he's going to do everything he can to play on the raw emotion that's going around Cardiff City at the moment.
I'm just looking at the team trying to reorganise it into that, and it would probably mean Martin Piero playing as a central midfielder,
yes,
wouldn't it? So, or McNair going, yeah. I'm interesting.
Watch this space.
Interesting to say the least. We got a minute left, John. We've already touched on it, but it's just imperative that Cardiff get a positive result of some sort and score a goal this afternoon, isn't it?
It absolutely is, because we are in a rut. We've lost 7 games. The league table, I'm never one that the league table lies. At the moment, we deserve to be in and around the relegation zone. If you're there come late November, come Christmas, it gets increasingly harder to break that or snap that lack of momentum and get out. Cardiff need to do it while it's autumn rather than winter, despite the fact it feels colder today. But no, Cardiff need to get out of this predicament very, very quickly. It starts today.
Look at the positive. We're not the only team that need a win, by all means. Barnsley beneath us, Hull struggling. But to look at the positive, teams have pulled themselves out of trouble fairly quickly in this division in recent weeks. You look at Nottingham Forest, you look at Peterborough United, who are starting to climb the table. Thanks for joining us, John. You were on audio commentary this afternoon with Conor Pearce, myself on video commentary. We seem to be doing this every week at the moment. Elsewhere in the club, things are looking very rosy indeed. So this is a roundup of the results from women's team, 23s, 18s around the club. All positive, goals flowing. Let's hope they do here this afternoon as well. We'll see you the other side of these.
It was FAW Women's Cup second round action on Sunday the 17th for Cardiff City Women's. Despite having been reduced to just 10 players away from home, goals from Zoe Atkins, Megan Saunders and captain Siobhan Walsh meant that Ian Derbyshire's side were able to come back from a 2-0 deficit to win 3-2 and advance to the quarter-finals. Following the international break, Cardiff City's under-23s returned to action at the Cardiff City Stadium, where they faced Charlton Athletic. An early goal from a trialist and a hat-trick from James Kroll meant the Bluebirds made it 6 straight wins in the Professional Development League. And Cardiff City's under-18 secured a 5-0 win away at Bristol City on the 16th of October. Goals from James Kroll and Cian Ashford, as well as a Morgan Wigley hat-trick, confirmed the victory for the Bluebirds.
Top 5 in association with the Big Yellow Self-Storage Company.
First time ball to release. Murphy one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Josh Murphy, 2-0 to City. And just as they started the first half, they started the second. Clinical from the Bluebirds.
Quick movement, great spot, and a really fine finish from Murphy.
Cardiff City Foundation Soccer Schools run during school holidays across various sites in South Wales. It gives children the chance to participate in fun football sessions, make new friends and develop and learn new football skills.
We're always looking for something for the children to do during half term. They love coming every day, they learn new skills, it's really creative.
Our son he's really into his football, he really enjoys it.
He lives football, eats football, sleeps football. It's testimony when he comes back from the school and is still talking about it when we're having dinner, you know, and telling us all the little things that he's learned.
It's a great thing for him to do in the half-term holiday. He gets to get a lot more experience here and meet lots of new people.
Mally's had a ball this week. Just do it. Let your kids run free and you'll have easier nights because she is shattered when she comes home.
It's really fun and the coaches are really nice. When we get to play matches as a team to score goals. They make fun drills for us.
They help you shoot better, do more dribbling, more passing.
Total value for money. It's 6 hours for each day.
My son's here from first thing in the morning till about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's fantastic, so I definitely recommend it to anybody.
They've enjoyed every minute of it, so I would definitely recommend his appearance.
If they're interested in football, they'd love it.
Just do it.
Good evening, welcome to Cardiff City TV. Well, shooting opportunity. Oh, it's brilliant. Morrison, goal! Good afternoon, welcome to Cardiff City Stadium, welcome to live coverage of this early afternoon fixture with Middlesbrough here with Cardiff continuing their current wretched run of form off the back of 7 straight championship defeats and just one goal scored in that time. We're all feeling rather nostalgic at the moment here at Cardiff City Stadium, and with Neil Warnock, Lee Peltier and Sol Bamba all in town for the opposition. That will continue. For the Bluebirds, we've got changes to the team that lost valiantly in midweek at Fulham. Kieran Brown comes into the left-back position to replace the injured Joel Bagan. Sam Bowen drops out with injury as well from the midfield area. So we think it's a front two this afternoon with Mark Harris joining James Collins, who also deputises for Kiefer Moore, who drops to the bench. There's a return from injury on the bench for Isaac Davis, another talented youngster who might well be involved this afternoon. Somebody that man, Mick McCarthy, was quite rueful about earlier in the season that he hasn't been able to call on him because of an early season ankle injury. Two men there, well known to the Cardiff faithful, Neil Warnock and Kevin Blackwell. This looked like a week ago being a pretty must-win game for both teams, truth be told. Two teams struggling for results, the wrong end of the championship table. Middlesbrough have put that right in the last 7 days, though. 2 consecutive 2-0 wins. They left it late a week ago against Peterborough. They also had a win in midweek and are pretty comfortable as well. So despite the injury crisis at the moment that is swirling around the Riverside Stadium, they arrive here in pretty good nick in terms of form. Now we are going to have a pre-match stoppage, I believe.